author Ellie Alexander, and I'm so excited to be here at Osmo's Alehouse with Amanda. Today we're going to talk a little bit about beer and all beerish, beautiful things. First of all, I want to know, why the name?
All right, so Osmo is a woman from Osmo descent in the Nordic Finnish poem. She had a bee land on her arm. She created it. She took the honey and she fermented it. So technically she might have made mead first, but then she created beer. So just like Gilgamesh, Sumerian warrior, she was the woman that created beer in the Nordic realm.
So it's sort of like an homage to this first woman fermenter.
Yes.
I love that so much. That's amazing. In Cozy Mysteries, which I write, puns are key. So my first book is titled Death on Tap. The second book is titled The Pint of No Return. And I think the beauty of a pun is that it informs the readers all right, I'm not about to read War and Peace. I know I'm probably going to read something kind of light and fun. And I feel like beer puns are prolific in the world of beer. Would you agree?
Yes, of
and
course.
Why? Why puns?
Puns are funny.
Yeah.
Puns are fun. Yeah. So, and even as a bartender standing behind the bar, you have these fun little quirky pun reactions with customers, or they say, or you say it. I always say that bartending and being behind a bar makes me more witty.
Yeah.
So puns are fun and puns are witty.
Maybe because you're not the one actually imbibing. You're just watching everybody else imbibe.
And then every once in a while I come up with a smart one. Yeah, every once in a while.
So if I am coming in to the Alehouse for the first time, what would you serve me?
Ooh, I'd ask, first of all, whenever people come in and they ask, what's good here?
Yeah.
Everything's good here because we brew everything. So in my opinion, everything is good. Even, ask the brewer, he'd say the same exact thing. But for me, I first of all ask, what do you drink?
Uh-huh.
So what do you drink? Do you drink browns? Do you drink ambers? Do you drink IPAs? So where are you? Do you like light beers? Do you like dark beers? Do you like strong beers? Some people are in it for the alcohol content. Other people are in it for the flavor. It depends on the human. Sometimes you get off work and you just want a strong beer.
Right.
So I ask what they drink first, and then I'll go for it. I like to think that within 3 tasters, the first 2, I'll nail it.
I was just going to say, do you have a sense of, I can find a beer for anyone who walks in?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I used to work at a tap house with 50 taps, and I could nail it within, I'm not trying to brag, but, but I can nail it within 3 tastes. Definitely.
That's amazing.
So the first 2 you're definitely going to go for. The third one's just for fun, is the way I see it. Yeah, but...
Can you tell just by someone coming in, can you kind of nail them? She's going to be an IPA, they're going to be dark.
I used to work at a restaurant where one of my friend's servers, she'd say, this guy's going to have a Captain Coke, this guy's going to have that. She was amazing. I can sometimes do that, yeah. This one's going to be a cider and a wine drinker. That's usually where it goes.
Okay.
So this one's going to have beer and this one's going to have cider and wine. So I can tell the non-beer drinkers.
Oh, interesting.
Over just the beer drinkers. That's an answer, yeah.
And for the non-beer drinkers, once you do a little tasting, can you sometimes convert them over? Yeah.
Totally. That's always my biggest thing is when people say they don't drink beer, I like to nail them with the coconut pineapple wheat or sour. Sometimes people that like ciders, they'll drink sours.
Yeah.
So it's really fun to convert somebody into a beer and actually have them drink a pint of it and say that was amazing. It's a goal, and it really does, it makes me feel super good.
In the series, Sloan Krause, my head brewmaster, is a woman in what has traditionally been dominated by men in terms of the brewing industry, right? And that's changing, obviously, especially here in the Northwest. But what's it like? Are you the sole female whenever you go out to all of the brewing conferences?
And not much anymore. I mean, and I did want to, a little excerpt from Osmo, just from the beginning of this, is that women used to brew the beer. It was us. And then the men took it over. So women actually brewed the beer. And I learned on the History Channel. I don't know, you might have to check this one.
Thank you.
But But women used to brew the beer, and they used to wear little witchy hats and tall socks, and that's how you knew if they stood outside that you could go in and have an ale. And men took that away, and then we became witches.
So why do you think more women than ever are drinking craft beer then too?
I think just opening it back up into, it was a man's world and it's not anymore. women are starting to get more bold, starting to reach out. I mean, wine is delicious, but we're moving on from that.
I've researched this a lot for working on this series, and more women than ever are drinking craft beer. And I'm curious, I mean, it sounds like it's a trend that you're seeing, and do you have an idea as to why?
I think that we all want to eat local and we want to drink local, and we're searching out for these big corporations anymore. So more than ever, everybody in general is they want to go to the brewery down the street. They want to drink wine down the street. They want to eat hamburgers from Applegate, wine from Ashland, beer from Medford.
Yeah.
So I think it's everyone, in general. As far as women, like I was saying, we had an event here, and all day it was all women in here, and it was just so awesome to see. I had to take a picture, actually, honestly. There was one of our regulars. His name's Ken. Hi, Ken. He was here, and he was the only man in here. I'm sure he loved it. And amongst a whole bunch of women. And it was so beautiful that I had to take a picture.
That's awesome.
And I actually put it on our Facebook and our Instagram, too. Yeah, so it's Ken with a whole bunch of ladies. And it was just really special.
Okay, so as someone who's worked in the professional field as a bartender, although I have heard the new trend in pubs and alehouses is to call yourselves beer tenders. Have you heard that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how would you identify?
So it's funny because you go back and forth with that. We have something called the Rogue Valley Messenger here, and they do the best of, and they have best bartender, and they have best bud tender, but they do not have best beer tender.
Yeah.
And we are two different things.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't muddle and shake. I could muddle and shake, but instead,
no muddle and shake.
No. But instead, I know so much about, I can have a conversation with you about the beer on the board, on how it was made, how the IBUs were created, how, ABV, like what went into it, the brewing process. So beer tender can also be used as kind of a derogatory term,
right, yeah.
in my opinion. Sometimes I don't really like it. Other times I embrace it. So yes, I'm a beer one. Sure, I'm a beer tender. And it's because I know about the craft.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not just me pouring beer, because pouring a beer, there is a talent to it.
That was going to be my next question, because there's an ongoing debate in our house. My husband's a home brewer, and so we happen to have his taps in the basement, and somehow we've managed to stay married through my awful pouring of beer. So I'm hoping that you'll show us how to pour a perfect beer.
I guess you could do that.
Yeah.
So I always open the tap and I go like this. And the lucky, awesome thing about here is I can speed it up to create the perfect head.
Wow.
Always tilt your beer. Always tilt your champagne. Always tilt anything with bubbles. So the perfect pour is to tilt.
Tilt.
Yeah,
right.
Always.
We've all learned something today.
Yeah.
What's the most challenging thing about working in a tasting room like this?
Most challenging thing. That's a good question. Humans. I'm just I have to say, and I tell this to Nick, and I went on vacation for a little bit, and he was behind the bar, and he's like, "Dude, your job is emotionally exhausting." I mean, and I do a lot more than just sit behind a bar and smile. I do a lot of paperwork. I do a lot of social media. I do a lot, and occasionally help brew the beer as well.
Okay, so what is the hardest thing about working behind the bar all day?
It's people.
People?
Yeah, it's definitely the people. And it's not because they're annoying. I mean, it's so funny the other day. I yuck it up and I talk with people all day long, and I love it. Love it. But at the end of the day, I'm just
done.
Yeah. And then, there are a couple people that I feel like they come in here just to make my life miserable.
Well, you realize the beauty of writing fiction is I can kill them off for you in a future book. And actually, I did that in my other series, in my Bake Shop Mysteries. I was in Ashland, and I was at a coffee shop, and I was just sort of watching like how the baristas and everyone were dealing with customers, and just to get like background in my head, kind of like being here today. And this woman came in, and she was horrible. horrible to the baristas. And I was sitting in the corner and I was like, well, you can die in a book. So be nice to your beer tenders too.
Or you'll die in a book.
That's right. In a book. Just in a book. Okay, so these are 10 rapid fire questions.
Okay.
You should be nervous.
All right.
Just answer whatever comes
I
first.
talk too much, so that's also another thing. I'm a talker, so it's gonna.
You have to be for this job.
Being
right?
quick and short, so
Yeah.
that's a hard thing for me. So
Okay.
let's do this.
So you should really be nervous. Okay.
Yeah, it's the pressure's on.
Where would you stash the evidence here in the brewery?
All right, so you're talking about the body, right?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Or, you know, like, I don't know, some incriminating paperwork.
All right. Well, yeah, we can make a lot of things disappear in here. There are 2 chemicals you can put together and make a body disappear real quick. And I would definitely do it in the boiling tank, which is over there.
Dun, dun, dun.
Everything go down the drain.
What's the craziest ingredient you've ever tasted in a beer?
Oh wow, that's a good question. Lime leaf. Yeah, Nick brewed a lime leaf IPA. I guess I just never would expect a lime leaf to be put into an IPA too. It's and maybe something else like a lager or something. And it was one of the most delicious beers he's ever made.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Can or bottle?
Can.
What's your favorite hop?
My favorite hop. Oh, that's such a. I love Citras, but that isn't a good answer. Simcoe's would probably be my number one.
Okay.
Cascade.
Book or movie?
Well, I like to watch TV because after I'm done working, I like to. My friends call it dumb out. But if there's gonna be a book into a movie, you kind of have to do that.
You got to do the book first.
Yeah.
Murder weapon of choice.
Ooh. So we were talking about zombie apocalypse and what weapons would I have? And it would be a BB gun, even though I'm sure you can't kill someone with. You can definitely kill someone if you get them in the artery with a BB gun. Yeah. So my weapons of choice is zombie apocalypse. This is what I'm turning it into.
Okay.
Would be a wooden spoon with a shaved end.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Some kind of stabbing.
Yep. So wooden spoon definitely.
Yeah.
And then a BB gun. Yeah. Those are.
You can't
those
go
are
wrong.
my jam. Yeah.
What is the worst beer you've ever tasted?
Oh,
I know. You don't have to.
I don't want
names.
to call anybody out. I know, and it's even funnier because even if I say it, it's probably calling someone out. It was a flavored stout.
A flavored stout
that shouldn't have been bitter, and it was.
Craft beer pairs perfectly with.
Everything.
I knew you were going to say that. And last but not least, the best thing about working in a craft brewery is
people.
People.
Yeah, you like that one. I love people, and I love the smell on brew days, and I love everything about it. I have a cool job.